And welcome back everyone to Night Some Developments, and this is actually part 19 of my 2025 FPS tutorial series. And in this video we're going to go over simple grenades. So as you can see here, I have a couple of models set up as well as two unanchored boxes. If I go ahead and back up and throw a grenade and wait a couple of seconds, the grenade will go off and deal damage to any player that is within a custom distance that you set, as well as any object that isn't anchored will be thrown by a shockwave, which is also completely custom to your liking. It's a super cool and important thing to have in your FPS game. It is super easy to make, and all you really have to do is just follow the steps. I provide you with all of the code, all of the files. Just go ahead and follow and you will have a grenade in about 20 minutes. Also, thank you so much to Xerda for inspiring this video, as well as thank you so much to my channel supporters for either purchasing Discord Premium to have complete access to all the game files, or people who super thank down below. So yeah, super cool and easy tutorial. Let's go ahead and get into the video. And first of all, we're going to go ahead and create another view model for our grenade. So go ahead and go to the Discord server. I'll link it down below, or if you're already in it, it's FPS 2025 video 19 grenade. Go ahead and download this file right here. Go back to your game, open up your files, and you should see a view model base in your downloads. Go ahead and drag it into your game. Look around and you should see a simple base like this. And the reason I'm making you download it is just because it's already done with all the right joints, welds, and it already has both of the animation controller and animator. So all you really have to do is add a grenade model, and to do that you're going to go ahead and go to your toolbox, switch to mesh parts, and search for a grenade. And you're gonna look for a model that you like the most. I think I like this one here, so I'll go ahead, drag it in. And as you can see, this one is way too big, so I'll go ahead and quickly zoom out, and I will scale it down. Also, don't forget to hold the Alt key on your keyboard so that the grenade scales uniformly all sides at the same time. Now if you go ahead and zoom back in, go ahead and try to scale it to where you think it would be the most realistic. You can use one of your pistols or knives for comparison, but I would just kind of eyeball it to our hand. So go ahead and click Alt, and I think this is the right size, maybe a little bit smaller, so I think that's pretty good. Now you're going to go ahead and position it to where you think it would be, and I would recommend positioning it like halfway on the inside of the hand, just because when your player is going to be playing it, right, you want him to actually see the grenade, because if you put it into the hand, it just looks kind of weird. So I like to position it kind of here, kind of like that. Make sure to not cover the pin, by the way. So very important, pay attention, this is the important part. Go ahead and rename this mesh part or the grenade into a grenade part. And the reason I'm naming it grenade part and not just grenade is because the actual view model base is going to be called grenade, but I'm actually gonna call it frag, just because it is shorter and it will work better with my code. So I would recommend calling the view model frag and calling the actual model grenade part. Now, before you put it in, go ahead and select your grenade part, turn off cast shadow, turn off can collide, and turn off anchored if it's on. So now that you've made sure these are off, these are super important. If you don't turn them off, you'll have weird glitches and your player will go flying. So make sure you have those off. You're going to go ahead, take it and throw it into the view model. So now they're one object. Go ahead and quickly weld it, and welding this is, rigging it is super easy. You're going to go ahead, go to plugins, open up Rig Edit Lite, select your view model, and we're going to make a joint, very important joint, from the right arm. Select the right arm, hold Control on your keyboard, and select grenade part, and create a joint, not a weld, a joint. Select that, and you're done with rigging it. you can go ahead and close it for now, exit the plugin, and you have a basic view model. So what you want to do at this point is you're going to have to palm the hands together, kind of like you see here, positions, and we did this for the knife. You're going to try and do the same thing or similar to this. And the one thing that is very important, if you will be moving the fake camera closer, make sure you move the humanoid root part with it, because if you move them separately, as you can see, you get this weird effect where your actual humanoid is way behind the view model, and that's not good. So if you do end up moving this, make sure you move the humanoid root part and the fake camera together. So I'll go ahead and adjust this, and I'll be right back. Okay, that looks pretty good. I can go ahead and exit the camera locker feature, which just kind of allows me to preview the position from player's POV. I ended up with something like this. It's just a simple grenade hand that is leaning inwards, showing the player the grenade, and kind of an aiming arm that's pointing in the direction of the throw. So now that you've done with this, go ahead and take your view model, and you're going to go ahead and move it to the replicated storage view models with the rest of your stuff. Now you should actually be able to quickly test. If you go ahead and play the game and you go select whatever, you click number 4, you should have a grenade appear here. It won't do anything if you click aim or shoot. It shouldn't do anything, but it should appear without any errors in the output. And now that we've made sure that it works, we can go ahead and continue with our animation. We're actually going to go ahead and duplicate the view model that we just created, put a duplicate into the workspace, and then we're going to animate a simple throwing animation. And go ahead, go to Avatar, Animation Editor, select the view model, adjust it to where you like it, click a plus, click Add All Body, and I'm just going to quickly animate a throw, and I'll probably just time lapse that to save some time. Okay, now that I'm done with the animation and I like how it turned out, I'm gonna do a couple of super important things, so pay attention. This is going to be a little bit different than how we usually finish these off, because we need to despawn the grenade at the bottom or like the middle of the animation since it's getting thrown. So I'm gonna choose a spot. I'm thinking somewhere like here is where I want it to disappear or like fly from this position. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and right click on this frame, and I'm gonna add a animation event here. You're gonna go ahead and click add event, and you're gonna type this super carefully. Don't mess this up. You're gonna type grenade throw, right? You're gonna go ahead and copy this name, copy it, click save. You should see it appear. It's going to be probably in like your server storage if you ever want to find it again, but now that you've copied that name, go ahead and open up something like a note tab on your computer. I'm going to use a sticky note. So I have you can go ahead and type this out right now. This is just so we don't lose these. There's going to be a POV and a keyframe. POV is going to be our animation ID, and the keyframe is going to be just the name of the keyframe that we added, right? So go ahead and save the name for now. Now we're going to go ahead and click these little 3 dots on the side here. Go ahead and set animation priority to action. And also go ahead and make sure it's not looped or anything. And go ahead and publish this to Roblox. Go ahead and click save. And copy the ID. You can close. Make sure you add the keyframe before you publish the animation, because you want the animation to contain that keyframe. Now you can go ahead and go back to that notepad from earlier and paste your ID in. Make sure you don't lose these. You're going to need these later on. Now you can go ahead and actually close your animation. Now we're actually going to add a grenade model object that's going to be actually thrown through the air. So to do that, we're going to go back to the toolbox, get the same exact mesh part of the grenade that we have in our view model, the same exact one, throw it into the game. Once again, we're going to quickly scale it down So go ahead, hold Alt, scale it down, and try and get it as close as possible to the actual view model grenade as you can, since the player will actually be able to see it flying through the server. So try and get it as similar to the one in the hand as possible. You can kind of put them side by side just to kind of get a better view. I think that's pretty good. So now we're going to quickly work on it. So a couple of things. Go ahead. Oh. Put it on the ground somewhere. Rename it into frag to match your view model, and it should be these 4 letters exactly. Make sure you spell it correctly and the capitals are correct as well. You're gonna go ahead and turn off cast shadow. Make sure can collide is on. You want can collide on because when you throw it, you want it to bounce off the floor and stuff. And also make sure anchored is off. Make sure it isn't anchored, can collider on, cast shadow is off. Now under this frag, you're gonna click a little plus sign here, search for explosion, and add an explosion element. This is going to be the actual explosion behind our grenade. So you can kind of play around with blast pressure and radius here, but we're going to go over settings a little bit later. The only thing that you do have to make sure is make sure that the visible is set to true. And then now we're going to need a sound. So to do that, go ahead, go back to the toolbox, switch to audio and search for something like explosion. And just find the sound you like. I think that looks pretty good. So I have my explosion selected, click insert. And I'm going to go ahead and actually copy this ID right here. And I'm going to go back to my notepad and make another line down here called sound ID. And just leave that ID right there. Now, very important, take the frag, drag it into the framework, the replicated storage, and put it into objects with the bullet holes. Make sure it is in there. Now we're going to move on to code. So we're going to go back to the Discord server, and as you can see, there's a lot more code now. There's also a file at the bottom. Also, a quick PSA. All of this code was originally designed by Xerdev, and this is his YouTube channel. He's linked down below, and if you want to check out his original series, you can click on this and see it as well. My series is a slight mix of his code, so if you do want to see the original, you can see it down here. Now we're going to go ahead and start off with the actual framework client, as pretty much every other video that I have. Go ahead and copy the whole script. Make sure to not copy these lines here, just the script. Copy that, go back to the game, and then you're going to go to framework client. You can use a Control-A shortcut to select everything. Go ahead and delete it. I would recommend making copies of your scripts and disabling them just in case you mix something up, but make sure that when you're done, you don't have any duplicates when you test the game. So go ahead, paste in the new script. It should be about 1,133 lines long. Here's a couple of things to pay attention. This is very important, so actually watch this part. Switch the gun names, go to the very bottom. Make sure to match your walk and run speed. And now this is where stuff gets interesting. This is for the grenades. On lines like 824 and 827, you have these two comments right here, keyframe name and frag part name. So if you remember, we made a keyframe in our animation. This is what we called it. Make sure the name of your keyframe animation matches this text here exactly. Every capital, every letter, everything matches 100%. If it doesn't, go ahead and just paste in your name of the animation, keyframe animation, into here. And now for the frag part, this is actually what you called this frag part right here, this grenade. So if you go to your replicated storage view models, open up your frag, whatever you actually called the frag part grenade, this name is supposed to match this name here exactly. And this one down here now that I'm looking at it as well. So make sure these two are matching. Now that you made sure of that, Also, another thing some of you might not have, if you ended up making some animations that I didn't do in my series, make sure you uncomment those as well. Now we're going to move on to framework server. So the same process, go back to the Discord server, scroll down to framework server, open it up, go ahead and copy the code, copy it, go back to the game, go to framework server, delete everything you got here. Paste in the new one. And here's a couple of things. These are the actual grenade settings that I've added. Basically, this is going to be the amount of force applied to the grenade. So basically how far it will fly. Then higher this number is, then further the grenade will go. This is actually going to be where the grenade spawns. It's going to spawn 2 units. I believe it's either in front or above our character. So where it originates, you can kind of edit this as well. The most important part is this one really. You're going to just set how far it goes. And then this is just the explosion blast radius. So everything within 30 studs will be destroyed, whether that's a character or a unanchored structure. So if you wanted to make it more distance or less distance, you would edit this number here. And then these are just the sounds. You don't really have to worry about those. And this is just after how long the actual grenade debris, so the grenade model disappears. I have it set to 10 seconds, and the noise itself will disappear in 10 seconds as well. Now we're going to move on to the actual module script for the grenade. Go ahead and copy this entire script. Go back to your game, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky, because if you remember from part 18 when we did the knives, I did add a module script in the throwables for a frag. If you don't have it, what you would do is you would just click a plus, add a module script, call it frag exactly like I have it here, and you would just paste in the new script. If you have the script from the last video, which is actually this one here, you're going to go ahead and quickly delete it, paste in the new one, and now very important, pay attention, make sure you swap these IDs. So if you just paste in my code, you can't run these IDs because they're private to my account unless you spoof the animations. So in order to just run your game, what you're going to do is you're going to go to any pistol that you have to its module script. You'll take the code here. You'll take these animation lines, copy them, and you would paste them right here. And then you would do the same exact thing for the sounds. You would copy these and paste them down here. Now that you've done that, make sure that is grenade is true and is melee is false. And I believe that's it, unless, oh no, there's still a remote event. Yeah. So if you go back to Discord, this event.rbxm file, go ahead and click download, go back to your game, and you should see a file like this, event.rbxm in your downloads. Drag it into your game. And you should see a remote event appear in your workspace. Take it and drag it under the events folder here with the rest of the events. And you should actually technically already be able to run this, but super important, we still didn't replace those animation ID and the sound ID. So go back to frag, open up the notepad, copy this ID for the animation, and you would replace both the fire anim and the empty fire anim. And then for the sound, you would just take this ID here and you would paste it under the shoot and use. In the shoot and use line right here. Now that you have completely replaced those, let's go ahead and actually test our game. If you go ahead and click play, you can go ahead and just click select. If you click 4, you should see a grenade appear, which if you go ahead and click shoot, as you can see, you throw a grenade and a rifle will be pulled out automatically just because I set it to where you have 1 grenade. And once you throw it, you can't go back to the grenade since you already threw it. So I just kind of made it like you can find in Battlefield where you have a grenade, you throw it, and then once you're done, you can no longer pull out nothing since you don't have grenade anymore. So yeah, that's how you make a simple grenade for your FPS game. Let's go ahead and actually respawn and test it one more time. We're gonna go ahead and click select, click forward to get our grenade, and I'm actually gonna test it on myself this time. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it, run up to it, and as you can see, it killed me and the wall behind me since it wasn't anchored. So yeah, I hope you like this tutorial. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.